From Lake Conroe, Notes for Peace will be presented by Craig Jones. And I don't think Carol Skuse is here. You are here from Liberty. Yay, thank you. Carol Skuse is here from Liberty, and she's going to talk about Liberty's Pocket Park. These are all interesting grants, so listen up. Frank, you're first.
It is 15 minutes.
Good afternoon. As the metropolitan area of Houston continues to push north, it is impacting the Magnolia, Woodlands, all that northern part of our southern Montgomery County. One of the real victims of this is impacted is the wildlife. As people and roads and vehicles and everything come into our area, they get displaced, they get run over, they get hit, and so on. And so there has been a real need for rehabilitation of these animals that can be saved. One special group is what we call small raptors. And these raptors are owls and hawks, typically. We see two groups of these. One, these raptors by design, when they see a prey or they go after something, they don't have any peripheral vision. So if they come across a road to get a mouse or something, get hit by a car and survive, then someplace they have to be rehabilitated. The other group are babies, young owls, who are orphans out of a nest that inadvertently a tree gets cut down and had the nest in it or something, so they have to be raised. We were approached by the Friends of Texas Wildlife. The one thing they really needed is some place of a transition. That is a place they could take these small raptors and get them back to flying and hunting. They put a mouse in and they learn to re-hunt or whatever it is. And so we took this project on with a grant. Probably never would have happened without the grant. It's great seed money. Technically, it wasn't a big problem for a couple of us old wore-out engineers, but we knew we had some real problems doing it because we had some pretty good-sized timbers, and old guys like me don't like to get on roofs, that type of thing. So we reached out, and one of the things I learned from this project is if you reach out and you have a great project, it really stimulates and gets people involved. A good example is I went to a contractor I knew and I said, we want to buy the lumber through you guys at discount. He said, well, not only that, but we'll do some of the framing, especially the roof framing. And then we had another group that would put on the roof, another one put up the poles. And then the club came together on 2 weekends and pretty much finished the project. And that's our project. Thank you. I want to make special mention of all these folks that helped us out. I mean, these folks were really great, and they turned to and really helped us. Thank you.
Well, howdy. Every December, the Rotary Club of College Station hosts a deeply rewarding, community engaging event called Clothing for Kids. About 25 years ago, our membership saw a need in the community to provide coats and clothes for needy grade school kids within the Brazos Valley, and thus Clothing for Kids was founded. This event typically occurs on the first Saturday of December at the Target in College Station. And Target opens their store early, exclusively for us, so we can go and shop for clothes with each of the vetted families. And each family is assigned to a Rotarian who helps these grade school kids with the oversight of their mama to choose socks and shoes and coats and blue jeans and all the other things that kids need. And each kid has a budget of about $150. and all the families that participate typically have more than one child, so it's a substantial impact that really helps them. After choosing all of our items, we work our way to the checkout line where Target brings up all the items tax-free. And once we bag everything and we help everyone to their car with all their clothes, we walk over about 300 feet over to the Outback Steakhouse, which is right next door. And the owner, he opens up the restaurant exclusively for us. And he serves up a big breakfast of pancakes with all the fixings, orange juice and coffee, and we get to enjoy this breakfast with these kids and their parents. And we get to talk to them about life and what their favorite subject is in school and what they want to be when they grow up and all those kinds of things. This event is good for Rotary and for District 59 for many reasons, and one of these reasons being participation. This has a significantly high participation from lots of different groups. To begin, we have nearly 100% club participation. And it's not just Rotarians that are showing up either. Spouses, children, and even grandchildren come to help maneuver through the store. There's also a sizable contingency of Rotaract members from the Texas A&M University Club. All right, I got a couple of whoops. And they bring calculators, and they're actually helping us keep track of what the running tally of all the clothes that have made it into the bins. And Rotary District 5910 is also participating by approving and providing a $3,000 district grant, which helped to increase the positive impact on the community. So all in all, Clothing for Kids isn't just a great service project which benefits the community, but it's also a great model which demonstrates the power of Rotary and how a community need is met through collective efforts of many different talents and resources through lots of different groups. Thank you.
Where's my music? What we're going to do today, you all are going to go back with something I don't think you felt like you were going to get when you came here. You're going to learn a language that you can share with people all over the world. And what you're listening to now is the song All Blues, which is recorded by Miles Davis in the 1950s off the album Kinda Blue, which is the #1 selling jazz album in the history of music. It is now over 6 years old, but of course the music is timeless. And we felt like, and our board talked about it, that we wanted to do something that would resonate for years and that would heavily be part of what Rotary is internationally. And any of you in education knows that the school districts in Texas have had lean times, and some of the first budget cuts, of course, were on music and art. And I think that we made the decision that what we would do is get into the school districts and work with them to provide something they sorely need. So with our grant money, we decided to get musical instruments for kids that could not afford to do bands so they could play them and learn music. And we worked and negotiated with area pawn shops to get the best deal, because what they do, the thing about a lot of kids, they play the instrument for a year or two and then they go on to other things. So the parents turn them in and they refurbish the instruments and then they resell them. And I work with the band directors of our 2 schools in our district, Montgomery and Willis, and they went and we picked out the instruments that they want, and band instruments are expensive. They're several $100s a piece. We were able to get 10 instruments for the 2 schools. They're now being played and done every day. And I think the real thing that resonated was the fact that the legacy of it. The instruments don't stay with the students, they stay with the schools. So kids will be learning and being able to play music years, decades from now on the instruments that we did this year. I thought it was a tremendous setup, and I appreciate it very much when you talk about tooting your horn. How perfect is that? We got to toot our horn and we got an article about our project in the Conroe Courier newspaper. And I think that both the school districts are very, proud and glad about this. But music is heard all over the world. Jazz itself is probably not as big as it once was in the United States. But worldwide, music, this kind of music is loved in Africa, Europe, Asia. The roots of the music are in Africa. If you think back of the Jim Crow era of the Old South, that musicians were the first to crack these barriers because whites would play with blacks. Whites wanted to go to the black jazz clubs. A tremendous unifier. So that was kind of our choice. And what I want everybody to do to conclude, I want everyone in this room to close their eyes for about 5 seconds. And I want you, when you close your eyes, to listen to this music and think about the very best things about Rotary. So here we go, 5 seconds. Okay, you can now open your eyes because you are now have learned a language that you can share with the world. Everybody in the world understands it. It sounds the same to everybody else. No matter what country you're in, no matter what religion you believe in, this music sounds the same to all of us. And henceforth it will be known as Music Rotary Notes for Peace. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol Skews, proud to be the club president of the Rotary Club of Liberty, Governor Don and Barbara, and all of our few of our members here. Good to see you. Let's see if I can make the clicker work. Nope, that wasn't it. There we go. Okay. I learned some ideas, a lot of ideas at PETS last year, and one of the ideas was that we could create a pocket park of some sort. So we started looking around Liberty, and we wanted to pick a spot that would benefit the most kids that needed a park. We applied for the grant. We got $2,600. We got $2,600, and we matched the funds. The Rotary Pocket Park, which I'll tell you about, is located on land donated to the City of Liberty by the children of Ruth Canfield, who say she loved the outdoors. When we started looking for a place to put the park, I asked a lot of questions, and a lot of people around town kept telling me there is some land that was donated to the City of Liberty a long time ago and is supposed to be created into a pocket park, and it never happened. It got put on the back burner. It didn't happen for one reason or another. So I asked more questions. We found the land. We researched the deeds. And this deed, actually the land was given from Ruth Canfield to her children. And one of her daughters, Patricia McKellis, who is now 91 years old, gave the land to the City of Liberty with the specific purpose of creating a pocket park. And it will help approximately 800 disadvantaged children who live in an apartment complex close to there. And part of the money for the matching funds was donated by Marion Chap Kane, who owned that apartment complex, and another anonymous donor. And it shall be, it says in the deed, it shall be used solely for a public park named the Ruth Canfield Park. Excuse me. So, our plan was in place. We took Rotarians over to the land to take a look at it. It needed a little bit of work. So the City of Liberty prepared the land. They cleared trees. There were some trees that were dying that they got rid of. They leveled the ground. They did a lot of work. So we're ready for the playground equipment. We ordered it. They delivered it. We documented everything. I worked for a newspaper. And we had installation day. This is Ed Pickett and Stephen Duggar, two of our Rotarians. And Rick Brady, who's sitting right there. Rick Brady, and lots of help from the Boy Scouts of Troop 56 in Liberty. Thank you, Troop 56. So we got it all put together. There you can see them. The only thing we're missing now is the mulch, and I learned a lot. You can't just put up playground equipment nowadays. You have to have a mulch fiber, engineered wood fiber base, 12 inches thick. It's very complicated. So we had help from the Scouts, Rotarians,